Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I wanted to do another Discord Q&A here, and this one is obviously focused on the Walking Dead final season, the last episodes. The last episodes are beginning in 24 days from now, which is just unreal. I mean, it's really nuts to think that it's actually coming to an end, that the Walking Dead is coming to an end. I know it doesn't really feel like it, and that's the one thing that I really want to focus on here over the next 3 months is like, I want to focus on the show ending and kind of try to ignore the spin-offs, which is going to be super difficult to do just because, if they tease Rick in any way, then it's like you're hyped for that after, right? So we're so excited for all the spin-offs. But I want to try and focus on just what The Walking Dead should end as. And I mean, again, that's what's kind of hard about it is because how do you end The Walking Dead? Because to a lot of us, The Walking Dead is the Grimes story, right? And the Grimes story isn't ending yet. The Grimes story is going to live on for a few more years, 4 or 5 more years, and at least I'm assuming anyways. And so that's why it's kind of hard to be so excited about it. But nonetheless, The Walking Dead is ending. I asked you guys for some questions and you guys definitely delivered, so thank you so much for that. If you want to take part in these Q&As, definitely go join the Discord. The Discord is going to be a lot more active coming up very soon because obviously The Walking Dead is returning and there's a lot of fun stuff that we're definitely going to be doing there. And I mean, obviously a lot more Q&As we're going to be doing. There's a lot of discussions there all the time. I'm always there discussing some stuff with you guys. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, the server name is Appetite for the Dead. The link is in the description of this video. But let's actually get into the first question here. So, do you see Rick appearing at all during the last episodes or some sort of new time jump? I mean, in terms of a time jump, I'm not going to rule that out just because Angela Kang seems to really love time jumps, right? So I'm not going to rule that out because I could see that being a possibility. But in terms of Rick showing up in the last episodes, I don't see it. I think they want to create a lot of it or have that excitement there, I would say, and create that hype for the Rick and Michonne television show coming out, I'm assuming next fall. And having Rick show up now is something that I feel like sort of ruins it a little bit. Like, because obviously seeing him for the first time is just like crazy hype, right? Like all of us, I mean, think about it at Comic-Con when they announced that they're doing the show and it's coming out next year, and then once we got the confirmation afterwards that it was going to be multiple seasons, like the excitement from everyone was crazy. It was more exciting than the movie trilogy. And I mean, it really blew up. Everyone was so hyped for things that I just feel like, yeah, you want to kind of play with that a little bit. You want to tease us. And I think showing us Rick in the last episodes interacting with some of our characters is a little bit too quick. And I think it kind of confirms as well, if you think about it, like Michonne's going to be with Rick. Michonne has to find Rick at some point. And the first season of that show, the Rick and Michonne show, is going to be focusing on her trying to find him. And so I just think that, yeah, not at all. I don't see it happening, but I do think obviously we're going to find them, or we're going to see them find out that he's alive, which is going to be emotional in itself, right? Like just think of Daryl. Daryl at this point believes he's dead. Imagine his face when he's like, Rick's alive? And not even him, like Negan, Carol, Maggie, when they all find out that he's alive and he's been alive this whole time. I feel like, we talk about it so much that I think we don't really realize the impact and how amazing that scene's going to be, but that's going to be a really powerful scene. Do you think that there is a possibility that the Daryl spinoff is a fake because there is little to no promotion at all? No, the promotions are going to be on the Walking Dead last episodes. Like, they're not going to start teasing, like, again, if they focused on promoting the spinoffs right now, people would be so pissed off because it's like, you literally have 8 more episodes. So just because there's no promotion for that show, it doesn't mean that it's not happening. And there's so much confirmation out there that it's happening. At this point, if it was a fake, like that would be the biggest troll ever. Because not only that, like they're literally doing the Rick and Michonne television show. Like they're building out a universe, much like the MCU, just in terms of television though. And it makes no sense that would be faked just because it's going to be super popular. Norman Reedus wants to do it. Like, those things don't happen. Like, those things aren't faked. And I know Robert Kirkman did that in the comic, and honestly, I hate it because ever since he did that, everyone's so paranoid about it now, but it's not a fake. Like, the spinoff is happening for sure. There's no promotion because they're focusing on the last episodes. Once The Walking Dead is over this November, then wait. Like, you're going to see a lot more promotion for these spinoffs. If you think about it, there's no promotion for Isle of the Dead. We're just sort of seeing some stuff, there were, not Isle of the Dead, but The Walking Dead City. We're just seeing a few things like, they announced that it was filming, or they announced the name change. And then we're seeing some stuff online from them on the set of it, but there's no real promotion of it yet. And apparently the Daryl show is supposed to be filming this month. At least that's what Norman Reedus was saying a couple months ago. He was speculating anyways that he might start this summer or something, or September. So Who knows, the schedules could have changed, but that spinoff definitely is going to be filming really soon. Q&A, do you think the main characters will die in the spinoffs? Daryl, Maggie, Negan, Rick eventually, or maybe turn to a walker at the end of the spinoff. I don't see Maggie dying, and I really would not want Maggie to die. I think she's super important to the overall story. I know I might sound like I'm contradicting myself a little bit here, but I just don't think you should kill that character off, only because, like, you know, Maggie is such an important character to the Glenn storyline that you want to keep a character like that around. I know I was saying in a video I posted earlier today, actually, that, you know, you don't want to kill certain characters off because of the connections to past characters, and I was saying how you kind of have to get away from that. I just feel like in Maggie's situation, it should be respected and it should be honored. I feel like that Green family storyline is so important that you need to keep someone alive from there. And you want some sort of happy ending there, I think. I think if you're a writer, you do it. So I think keep Maggie around. In terms of Negan, I honestly, just because of the comic, I just don't see them killing him off. I feel like they're going to keep him around because, I mean, he's such a fan favorite. In terms of Rick and Daryl, though, one of them's dying. For sure, one of them is dying. Could we see Rick die? That's where I'm like, it's kind of hard for me to just say, like, yeah, Rick's going to die. Because he essentially already kind of died, right? So it's hard to say because, like, in the end, if he actually dies, it almost feels like it was sort of pointless. Like, everyone's like, oh yes, he's alive, and they have him for a couple years, and he's dead again. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. I think it could be Daryl that actually dies because Daryl's been there for a while, and maybe we see Daryl as a walker, and it'll mimic his brother's death. You know, I could totally see that happening. Not a Walking Dead question, but just curious, do you have a favorite Batman villain? I guess I would have to go with the Joker, just because, I mean, for obvious reasons, the Joker is just amazing. Q&A, why hasn't Maggie mentioned Rick? When talking to Pamela, she is asked about who her examples were. She mentions Georgie and Deanna, nothing at all about Rick. Yeah, honestly, like, that's such an easy mention. Again, I don't know why the writers don't do things like that. That's the stuff that's kind of frustrating with the writing, is that it's like certain names, it's basically like Voldemort. You know, mentioning Rick on The Walking Dead is basically like saying Voldemort. They can't. They just absolutely cannot say his name. Like, even his kids can't say Rick, or I guess they would say Dad. But, like, even then, like, sometimes they don't even say Dad, really. They keep referring to him as the Brave Man, which makes no sense. Like, I'm sorry, like, you're never going to call your dad the Brave Man or anything like that. I know it sounds like, writing-wise, it sounds all, like, heroic and stuff, because to their kids, their dad was this legend and whatever. But, like, in real life, you would never call your dad that. You would just call him Dad or whatever, right? And I just think that for other characters, you can just say Rick. You can just say, like, yeah, I'm looking for Rick still. Like, it's insane. You know, I don't remember the scene exactly, but I'm pretty sure in episode 18 of season 10, I think Carol was talking with Daryl, and I remember Carol saying something like, what are you doing out here, this and that? And I think they were talking about basically they couldn't find him. But I don't think there was a mention of Rick. I could be wrong about that, but that's just kind of what I'm remembering right now. And so regardless of that anyways, that's sort of a thing in general. So yeah, I think, like, that's just sort of a failure, I think, on the writer's part. I think they should be able to mention Rick a lot more. It's insane that they don't. But I feel like that they kind of view, you know, mentioning Rick's name as being this big Easter egg, this big teaser that makes everyone go crazy. But yeah, anyways, Q&A, do you think that there will be a post-credit scene at the end of the episode leading up to the first spin-off? There's going to be a post-credit scene of some kind. I'm really hoping for the Rick and Michonne television show, but I could see them maybe not giving us that yet, because obviously the Maggie and Negan spin-off is happening probably, I'm assuming it's going to be airing in February. You know, they've been filming for quite a while now, like really almost 2 months now. I believe they're probably done episode 3 or almost done. You know, they got 3 more episodes left. They're probably going to be done by November. They might have a little bit more to do in January or something like that, but I imagine they're probably going to be done this year. And they're probably already editing the first episode right now, first or second episode. So I think this show is going to take the place of where The Walking Dead, or I guess sometimes Fear the Walking Dead, would air, you know, during that February to April time slot. Obviously, it's not going to be 8 episodes, but it'll be 6 episodes. So you're just kind of just minus 2 weeks off there, you know, somewhere. So I imagine, you know, mid to late February, it's going to air around there, and it's going to go all the way to the end of March, early April, sort of just like always. And that's why I see it being Dead City that actually gets the post-credit scene, though. I would really like a Rick and Michonne spinoff, post-credit scene, just because, I mean, obviously, we're all super excited about that. And I think if you want to create hype for the future, if you're ending The Walking Dead, why don't you do it where you tease the future in Rick Grimes, like he's around, like you just have him sort of there in the ending, like The Walking Dead ends, it's over, the credits roll, and then in the end, you see Rick maybe in like a hospital bed or something like that. Like he just woke up because obviously they landed and they brought him in there and fixed him up a little bit. And I think that would just be absolutely amazing because obviously it would tease what's to come next fall, right? I don't know. You guys can let me know though. Do you think it's going to be the Rick and Michonne TV show spinoff, or do you think it makes sense for it to be Dead City just because it's likely airing in February? Q&A, what do you think is going to be the first appearance of CRM in the show? I think it's going to be some of the stuff with Tyler Davis, and I think that it's likely going to happen. I mean, obviously in the second half here of these 8 episodes, it's kind of hard to say exactly how I see it going down, but I don't see it being anything that happens at the Commonwealth. If anything, it's going to be away from the Commonwealth, maybe at another outpost. And we'll probably see maybe a helicopter or something landing and they're picking up some people, or we'll see some vehicles or something. We'll see some CRM soldiers. It's probably going to be something like that. Do you think that they are building to an Avengers Endgame event, or are the spinoffs just to finish single character stories? No, they're definitely building to an Avengers Endgame event because all the actors want to reunite. Like Jeffrey Dean Morgan especially has talked about this, where he wants his character to reunite with Rick again. He really wants to get a lot of that stuff. And, so they're going to be building to this at some point. Obviously, when The Walking Dead ends this year, that's going to be the focus. We're going to have all these spinoffs, everyone's sort of split up, and it's going to be about getting them back together again. And that's where it's going to be really tricky because, this is where Scott Gimple is going to have to come in and really, really balance all the stories here. And then just where does it end, right? Where do you have certain characters ending their stories, and how does that transition to another show? And like, is that show called The Walking Dead, I don't know, Reunion or something? I'm not saying to call it that. That'd actually be really horrible if they called it that, but you know what I mean? Like, are they all going to reunite in the Rick and Michonne television show, or are they going to reunite in a different spinoff? I'm assuming it's going to be a different spinoff. This way you have everyone come together in a new show where you see everyone sort of, again, come together and we get those reunions and stuff. But it really depends. Honestly, it really depends on how they plan on doing it. It's going to be really tricky, but I'm obviously really excited to see how they're planning to do it, because obviously we're going to have Rick and Daryl together. We're going to have Rick and Negan meet each other. We're going to have Rick return to Alexandria at some point. I think it's going to take a bit, just because obviously they just tore down Alexandria. They tore down the sets of those places. But they will rebuild those again if they have to reuse it, and they're going to, because you want to have that stuff happen again, right? You want him to return home. This is stuff that we're going to be talking about years down the road. It's just that, yeah, it's kind of hard to say as of now. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Make sure to be a subscriber if you do want more Walking Dead content like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.